Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hello to everybody out there, whatever time you are watching. This is the Finance Rebel Show. This is a show that's all about increasing your financial IQ. I am Kamari Ellis, your host, the Financial Rebel, or the founding Financial Rebel. And today, I want to be on here briefly, but we're going to talk about a couple of things. I've been seeing the memes circulating out there in social media land, out there in those interwebs and those internets. The internet is always doing something extra. But I've been seeing a lot of memes about how to write your child off or your children off on taxes. And as always, there's some context left out. So me being the nerdy guy that I am, the nerdy financial guy that I am, I want to come in and add some proper context. But before you get going, let me do a couple things. Let me share this out a couple places so I can try to help as many people as possible. Everybody knows I do this every day, just about every day. And I don't have an actual time though, right? But I do it every day. So the project is to make sure I do the videos every day. I broadcast live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram all at the same time. So I'm multitasking and multi-streaming all at the same time. Like I said, let me just share this out real quick. But how is everybody doing tonight? So again, like I said, we're going to talk about writing your children off, or how business owners can write their children off on their taxes. Basically, the child tax write-off. And we're going to talk a little bit about TurboTax. So TurboTax is in an interesting spot lately. So this is going to be interesting. If anybody remembers the video I did last year sometime, I want to say I did a video about the problems with TurboTax and using TurboTax if you don't pay attention. But nevertheless, like I said, I've been seeing these memes float around about hiring your children, paying them $12,200, writing it off, and saving some money for yourself and your business on your taxes. So all of those things I just listed are true. They're absolutely true. What's missing is the context, right? So let's back up. Let's talk about what the IRS deems as a business expense. What is a business expense? The IRS deems a business expense as something that's ordinary and necessary. Ordinary and necessary. You'll hear me say that a lot. You'll hear a lot of people say that a lot when it comes to talking about taxes in the IRS. By the way, if you haven't done so yet, comment, like, share this with somebody who wants to write their kids off on their taxes as a business expense, and also anybody who's interested in what's going on with TurboTax. So the IRS talks about what a business expense is, what a legitimate business expense is, per the eyes of the IRS. All right. It has to be ordinary and necessary. Now, what does that mean? Ordinary and necessary. It should be something that's commonly used in your business. And it's something that's kind of ordinary. That's typically that will be ordinarily used in your business. Every business is different, right? For example, if you're a contractor and you buy, I don't know, flowers. Let's just say flowers, right? Would you think that's an ordinary and necessary expense? Many people might say no. I can make an argument for it, especially if you're a developer, contractor who is a developer, right? Or let's stay with the contractor. I don't want to confuse it. A contractor, once they finish their project, they might come in, show the owner, and have flowers there to present to them. This is the finished product. That's part of their material cost. That's something they do that's a little extra. You could probably also make the case for having candles, like scented candles and things like that. For a contractor, it's ordinary and necessary. However, I probably couldn't make the case for a contractor to wear, I don't know, jewelry, costume jewelry. I probably couldn't make the case for a contractor to have, I don't know, I'm just thinking a horse, right? To have a horse as an expense. They're not farmers. They're not breeders. It's totally outside the scope of what they normally do for business. So that kind of defines the range. All right. And so with this memes or meme and memes, right? Several memes, multiple memes that have been floating around the interwebs, they're basically saying like, oh, you can write your child off and it's just willy-nilly. The ones I've been seeing lately have been distributed out in December, and I'm gonna come back about that as well. So here's the deal. If you want to write your child off on your tax return, it must be an ordinary necessary expense. They have to do a job. So right, I've seen people on various shows. I've seen one person on the Steve Harvey show talk about to hire your children. Now the people they were talking to, they weren't business owners, and the children, the wife was still pregnant. They hadn't even had a child yet, right? So, in my opinion, this is my opinion. This is somebody who's been around for over 20 years. What do I know? That's illegal. That's borderline fraudulent. And they said you can then pay your child, you can take the money out, and you can pay for Pampers and formula and daycare. But what purpose is the child serving the business? So, like, there needs to be a legitimate purpose that the child is actually serving the business. If there is no legitimate purpose, I don't care if the child is 1, I don't care if the child is 60. It's not a legitimate tax write-off. Now, there's some special exceptions where you might be able to use a child that's a toddler or infant, but typically the tax court, with the Department of Justice, tax court, has said 7 is the 7 is the youngest age or the youngest feasible age that a child can come to work and do something legitimate. By the way, you can't just pay your child anything you want. It should be in line with whatever market rate service they are providing. So if your child's coming in, for example, I send like thank you notes to a lot of my clients, right? My 14-year-old daughter does that. What would I pay her? How much would I pay her? What would the rate be for that? Should I pay her $12 an hour, $15 an hour, $20 an hour, $40 an hour, $100 an hour? Probably could rule out $100 an hour, right? Probably could rule out $20 an hour. I could normally probably go to market and pay somebody minimum wage, which I believe is $7.75 now for something like that. The right thank you cards, thank you notes that I send out. So let's say she starts in December. I can't pay her $12,200, or she would have to be working a whole lot of hours to make $12,200 in order to justify that expense. Now, what's the logic behind this? They call this income shifting. So we're taking $12,200 and we're paying our child employee, right? A legitimate child employee, a child employee that actually does real work and provides value to the business, that actually helps the business make money in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But we're then going to pay this child $12,200. The standard deduction, that's the deduction that everybody gets, right? So for a single person, it's $12,200. So the typical line of thought is that parent can pay that child that's legitimately working in the business $12,200 and they won't have to pay any tax. They won't have any tax liability. And that can work, again, if it is legitimate. All right. But, again, it needs to be a real job. You need to document it. You need to have your child fill out some type of timesheet, right? Because if you were ever audited, the IRS is going to say, well, how am I supposed to know that they actually ever came to work? What did they work on? When did they work? How did they work? What projects did they have? So a lot of people aren't able to do that. And so it creates an issue. So listen, if you are ever thinking about writing off your child, have a legitimate business, please. Like a real business that's at least profitable. Well, it doesn't have to be profitable. I take that back. But have a real business that is at least aiming to be profitable, because there's a difference between a hobby and a business. And the IRS does not like dealing with hobbies. They like dealing with businesses, real businesses, all right, that are working to be profitable. So again, please avoid these memes. Please don't take advice from Instagram memes or Facebook memes or Twitter memes. Talk to certified, professional, qualified tax person, advisor, tax pro, tax advisor, CPA, enrolled agent, attorney, doesn't matter. Just find somebody that's qualified. And credentials don't necessarily make you qualified, but those are the popular marketing tools that are often used out there in the world of landscape. All right. So again, if you are just joining, I'm Kamari Ellis. This is the Finance Rebel Show. Jody just said hello. Hello, Jody Austin. Jody is an up and coming playwright, producer, and director, and an awesome poet as well. So hello, Jody. Thank you for watching. But again, like I said, I'm Kamari Ellis. I'm a Finance Rebel. Thank you all for watching. Please share, like, and comment with your family and friends. Anybody who's interested in increasing their financial IQ. So today, I came across this case. All right, it's about TurboTax. Now, like I said earlier in the intro, I made a video, I think on Instagram, might have been Instagram or Facebook, about a year ago talking about TurboTax, because I often find people who mess up their TurboTax because they don't answer all the questions correctly. So I help out a lot of people, especially around tax season, when it comes to their TurboTax, because again, they typically have some issues with it. Now, many people don't know this, right? And I might even get in trouble with my tax pro community, but the IRS has a free filing service. And sometimes I even recommend people who don't make a lot of money, who don't have complex tax returns, to use this free tax service. It's called FreeFile. And there's all these other tax companies that participate in this service. And it's free your income has to be below a threshold. I don't know what the threshold is right now off the top of my head. But I came across something, all right? So it's called I forgot this. It's called the TurboTax Trap. TurboTax tricked customers into paying to file taxes. Now, several states are investigating. Now, I'm not just making this up. I'm not pulling this out of thin air. This is from ProPublica, which is a very, very authoritative journalistic site. They've done their due diligence. They've done their research. So TurboTax is in a bit of trouble because they trick people into paying for taxes that should have been free. So I'm going to read this excerpt real quick. Multiple states' attorneys, including Josh Steen of North Carolina, have opened investigations of TurboTax maker Intuit. So Intuit owns TurboTax and a whole bunch of other stuff. Side note, the government actually could make filing taxes much easier. But like most things, they've been hijacked by lobbyists like Intuit and many other software companies and accounting firms to make tax code more complex, so people have to actually pay an accountant or a tax pro to file their taxes. So I'm gonna come back to that a little bit later. All right, so several states have opened up investigations to TurboTax maker Intuit following ProPublica's reporting that their company charged millions of Americans for tax filing services that were eligible to receive for free. So they charged people that could have been free a fee. All right. I hope that's not a tongue twister. So according to people with the knowledge of the investigation, as part of the investigations, Intuit has been subpoenaed for records. At least 4 states besides North Carolina are investigating. So you got 4 states. I don't know if they're coordinating together, but you got 4 states who are looking into TurboTax. I wonder why nobody's really talking about this. But you got 4 states that are looking into TurboTax, and the exact number is not clear, but they said millions. All right, the company has not specifically disclosed the state investigations to shareholders being the owners of the companies, the owners of the stock. It received quarterly financial reports, contains a broad statement that beginning in May 2019, various legal proceedings were filed and certain regulatory inquiries were commenced in connection with the provision and marketing of our free online tax preparation programs. So it's basically what you call the old bait and switch, right? You get on there, you fill out your returns, you go to submit, and then they offer you something to get the pay. I get it. But it's one of the things that many people have to be careful about, because you go in and looking to get something for free because you might not have the budget to pay for these services, and then in order to complete the task, they charge you, right? So then you feel like you're kind of in a jam because you've invested time, you've invested energy. Nobody likes doing taxes. Everybody thinks the IRS is out to get them, and so it makes it really difficult for a lot of people. And so for this program, which, like I said, it allows a lot of companies to do taxes or to offer free tax services on the IRS website. But now what it's turning into is a marketing program based off of the IRS, which is owned and supposedly for the service of the American people. So basically, these companies, especially Intuit Turbo Tax, is getting to use government resources, taxpayer resources, American citizen resources for the benefit and profit of their private enterprise without being charged a fee for that. So that's just one of the things. So, be careful with that. If you know anybody who uses TurboTax online, let them know that they're doing a good old bait and switch. Allegedly, right? I don't want to get in any trouble. So they are allegedly doing the good old bait and switch. At least 4 states are looking into them. So if you know there's 4, there'll be 5. And if there's 5, then there'll be 6. And so forth and so on and so on. So I wouldn't be surprised by this time next year, because it probably won't be done by then, but I won't be surprised if there are more states involved. And what'll probably happen is they'll probably get a slap on the wrist and be sent off on their old jolly way to continue to make more money. But that's the American way, baby. So what are you going to complain about? So anybody have any questions for me? I do a live Q&A on Wednesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. This coming Wednesday is Christmas. All right. So if you celebrate the holiday, I won't be on, but I might jump on and talk some money. People spend a ridiculous amount of money when it comes to the holidays. And usually every time January 1 rolls around, any dates past January 1, I start to get phone calls with people saying, hey, I messed up my money buying gifts on credit, not paying my bills, and I don't know what to do. All right, so I think I have, okay. Esau was being slick. So she, going back to the point about hiring your children and your business. So she said infant social media influencers. Potentially, but you have to be able to really document and show that that is a real expense and they are a real employee. All right, got one more question. I won't stay on long. Like I said, I have to take me Madre to get some food. So I took advantage of the service. I'm looking because I'm on Instagram, right? I took advantage of the service when I filed last year. The year prior, I used the basic TurboTax software from Costco. The free tax filing service was exactly the same software. So, McCoy, are you saying you had a good experience with it or a bad experience? So I took advantage of the service when I filed last year. The year prior, I used the basic TurboTax software from Costco. All right, so you buy that from Costco. The free tax filing service was exactly the same service. So yeah, it's the same service. But again, there's a threshold of how much money you can make in order to qualify to use the free service. So, just be careful with that. Just be careful with that, folks. Everybody's out to get in your wallet or in your purse. Your job is not to let them. All right. So if anybody has any questions, text me 484-278-1357. Again, 484-278-1357. And if you're looking for a community or a home, a group of people to talk about money, because you don't have any people that talk about money in your circle, come join the Finance Rebel Academy. You'll find it on Facebook. Again, it's the Finance Rebel Academy. We talk about money every day, some way, shape, form, or fashion. I've been really tongue-tied all this week, but it's all good. We're going to work it out. Taxes, insurance, business, investments, real estate, stocks. We talk about it all. So come on over, type in the search box and Facebook Finance Rebel Academy, and you'll come on in. There's some questions over there. You need to answer them. Very basic. Like, are you going to be a good member? Right? Because I don't have time for the drama. Say the drama for your mama. I don't have the time because some people like to get on social media and argue and berate and name call. And I only want positive vibes only. Positive vibes only. So, all right. So McCoy did say I did get a call from a rep from TurboTax asking me if the service I used was free and if it met my needs. This happened a few months ago after I filed. Okay. All right. And McCoy said it was a good experience. Okay. All right. Well, no, there's been millions of people that have been duped, right? So, McCoy, clearly you know what you're doing. You didn't get duped. You answered the questions correctly and you got the free service. So kudos to you. But everybody else, have a great weekend. Listen, we're going into the last stretch of the year, right? Everybody's going to be talking about New Year's resolutions. I hate New Year's resolutions. I think they're stupid. No offense to anybody who does New Year's resolutions, right? But listen, if you really want to make a change, make it now. So think about what changes you need to make for the New Year's and start them now. Don't wait. Don't wait till New Year's. Do it today, right? If you want to lose weight, go for a walk today. If you want to lose weight again, eat some salad today. If you want to make more money or save more money, start today. Start with $1. Start with $2. Start with $5. You know, ideally, 10% is the entry level barrier to me with savings, and then everything else is kind of gravy. You should kind of start there, but start there and get busy. All right. So McCoy had one more insert. I just wanted to mention that point because sometimes people associate free with subpar produce experience. That's not the case for the situation. All right, McCoy, do you own stock into it? You riding hard for them today, but no, it's all good. I appreciate your input. But again, don't wait till the new year to start thinking about New Year's resolutions or just resolutions or new goals and projects that you need to tackle to live the life that you want to live. All right. That's all I got, folks. I'll see you all during the next broadcast. Have a great night. Bye-bye.